Hey, welcome back, guys. Kate with Kate's Regretless Life. Shall we go ahead and jump on into this, see where our storyline takes us? We are starting with Aquarius, Courier of Fire, which would be the Knight of Wands, and we have the Artist in the reverse. All right, so we have dreams, the dreamscape. We have possibly a divine feminine Aquarius that is at quite a distance. She could be working on goals, wishes, dreams. We have a courier of fire, possibly a divine masculine that is in their energy of desire, actually. And he's got a letter under his elbow. He's thinking about taking a little trip up to the stars. You can actually see him elevating from the city. This is kind of a big city skyline. In this deck, a lot of the cards that show city skyline look very much like a New York city to me. But this could also be maybe Chicago. But he's kind of like riding his pony up into the night sky. So there's something here where he would like to either go visit her, connect to her, have something to do with her. Where did this card come from? Did I drop that or did that shuffle? It's out now, so we've got to keep it. But I fear that was sloppy on my part. But we have a 5 of Swords here as well that came out somehow, magically, in a sideways fashion. It's weird because this is him saying, I need to go talk to my star. Now, this could also simply be him saying, I need to get away from everybody. I need some time and space. It can be a hostility, but it's sideways, so that minimizes it. But here, what he's writing is, I have nothing to say. And even here, he feels like he's a tapped out artist. This could be somebody who just reached saturation point or they've been depleted. This could be somebody who perhaps, they work in some artistic field for a living and they've reached that point where they're just like, I don't have any more like juice in me right now. I haven't got any more inspiration. Let me ask, what is your connection though to the star? Is that a person that you'd like to go, like maybe this is his muse, maybe he wants to go visit his muse? Oh, okay, so definitely she has his heart. He looks a little intense here. But she is somebody who definitely holds his heart. Okay, so now we have strong Leo energy. So there's definitely, he could actually be a Leo, right? Being a courier of fire, or at least have, be a Leo cusper. We've got Gemini coming in. So I usually look at this Gemini card a little bit more from the perspective of literally the twins. He may feel that she is like a strong resource for him. It's more than his muse. This is somebody that he loves. This is somebody that he feels a bond to. And this is somebody that it's almost like he wants to escape and go see her. In the midst of everything else he's been doing, working on, he's like depleted himself. And his thought process is, if I could just go see her, I think that my energy levels would be restored. If I could go see her, it would calm me, it would soothe me, it would bring me back to center. How did you get so depleted? Soldier of Air. Okay, so this is the Knight of Swords. He could have been traveling a lot. He could have a lot on his plate. He could have to stay fresh, stay relevant, come up with a lot of ideas, keep his mind working really, really fast. And to top it off, he may be in a fairly toxic environment where it's like everything is shifting all the time. Now, especially if he's a creative or works in a creative industry, although we could say the entire world moves fast, right? The entire world is moving all the time. It's like, especially right now, it's super dynamic, and there's so many fluctuations and changes happening all the time that I could see that being just exhausting for anybody, but particularly in whatever industry he works in. It feels like there is a certain amount of tension. There's a high expectation for him to perform. his functions really fast. If he's an artist, he has to stay relevant. He has to keep creating and like really fast. And it almost feels like it's become, I don't know, like he's scattered or something. He's almost scattered. Definitely tired. We've got Sagittarius. This is him like, hi honey, I'm home kind of energy. Suspension. And then we've got the white stag. I definitely feel like when he thinks of her, when he thinks of going home to her, when he thinks of taking this action, he already knows it's like an escape pod. It's like somehow her energy is soothing for his soul. This is the Temple of Artemis. Her name could start with an A. You know, she started out first as an Aquarius, and now we have the Temple of Artemis here. So maybe her name is Anna. Maybe her name is, you know, Anastasia. Maybe it's Annabelle. Maybe it's, you know, Abigail. You name it. There's so many great A names out there. But those A's are just standing out to me. But this feels like she has a very spiritual energy to her. Ethereal energy also. And the white stag is always like a spiritual context here. But if he just wants to go and basically be in this sensory deprivation chamber with nothing else other than to be around her energy, it feels like he needs to get recalibrated, and somehow he thinks that going toward her would help. Now, I know we said that his heart is with her. Does that have to be a romantic love, or is this like, you know, we love our mother figure as well. We love, you know, there's a lot of people in life that we hold in our heart, and it doesn't have to be a romantic love. True, that Leo card did look like passion, but it also looked like he's getting frustrated, he's getting burned out, he's getting kind of pissed off, and it's almost like she would be a good source of calm for him. But I'm still not going to say that I think that this has to be romantic. The Courier of Fire makes me think that it would be, but I'm not 100% sold on that yet. Who is she to him? Let's see if we can find out. Dark Moon and Venus. Okay, it's definitely not his mom. It's definitely a feminine that is a romantic interest for sure. And of course, I've got the song Hey Venus in my head now. But I'm also thinking of Venus in Furs. Oh, Julian Casablancas did the best cover of that. It was absolutely stellar. I just feel like this is a very romantic individual on his mind. This is somebody that, it's also kind of his secret with the dark moon being here. I said, who is she? And it says, she is like his secret happy place. She is tucked some way away from his galaxy. Whatever else he does, he's not keeping her a secret because, you know, it's like, oh, I'm embarrassed or I can't let anybody know that I care about her. It's almost like she is his secret where he can go there and he can be calm around her. She is his sense of peace. He doesn't want to share that peace with anybody else. He wants her to be maybe even protected from his world a little bit too. But there's definitely, this is love, even though there is an element of secrecy around it. Do you love him? Feminine. Femio, it's tough to love somebody who's in the public eye, perhaps. She does, though. Out of everybody she's ever met, he is, you know, let's say she's a fangirl for him, right? Yes, she loves him. But he may be someone who is either like surrounded by all kinds of other, like whatever industry he works in. This is a very specific message, but whatever world or industry he works in certainly seems to keep him at quite a distance from her. Why the secrecy? You know, he could be like, let's say he's a local politician or something, or let's say he's, you know, whatever, a business owner of sorts or something in whatever area he lives or works in. You know, fame can be many things. But why is there secrecy here? And it says, with the card of logic, that doesn't sound like it's this intentional, like, ooh, I want it to be clandestine. It sounds like it's only logical that this connection hasn't, I mean, they're obviously in two different places, right? She's at some great distance. He'd have to travel to see her. So for them to like not have made a public connection yet kind of only makes sense, mostly because how would they? You know, this isn't, I don't know that it's secret so much as it is it just hasn't, they haven't been in the same place at the same time enough to bring this to the forefront yet. We have the Nine of Cups and we have poetry. You know, this really feels like it's a new connection that will at some point get started, because there's definitely something about like daydreaming, dancing with your shadow. Like, again, we see that she is like his happy space. This is still like his secret. There's something about, there's another version of him other than the version of him that is here for all to see in his career path, where he's got to, you know, stay very relevant and be on his toes and be, you know, doing a lot of things and maybe staying in the more public eye or something. But then there's another side to him, and that side to him is like his secret side. That is the side that she either connects to, or that he's really happy knowing that he could perhaps have like this very sensitive side to him, this very poetic side to him, this version of like the real version of him. I feel like sometimes he thinks he's like a ventriloquist dummy where he has to like perform and say and do the things that are expected of him. So definitely this could be somebody in, let's say, a political public eye, you know, having to be very PC, having to be very this, very that, put on a public persona. But then the real version of him is not really his shadow side. It's just, it's because it's not a darkness in him. It's actually a really beautiful side to him where he can just be who he really is. I think she brings out the poetry in him. She is the divine energy. She is this more soft, loving energy. She represents a whole nother version of him that he wants to be able to escape to. I do think something about her makes him feel very poetic, which is really beautiful. Really beautiful. And youthful. It restores some kind of like innocence or something to him as well. So, are you about to go see her? Is that what we have in this storyline? And we've got the Taurus energy here. When I say, are you about to go see her? Obviously, with that courier of fire, that's what he's thinking about doing, but I don't think he can. It's like Six of Swords. I don't know. It doesn't feel like he can just yet, because somebody's got themselves in a headlock. It's like, no, the career path that I have keeps me here. I'm going to have to just, I don't know if he's doing some late night spying on her, and that's as close as he can get to her, is, you know, now owls are our night hunters, and they're really cool. You know, owls have like an additional eyelid that comes up from the bottom and covers their eyes. It gives them a protective lens. I guess I shouldn't say lens, but a protective layer, and it's transparent so they can see through it. And also their eyes are round like hot dogs and go back in their heads like tubes, so they don't have the mobility that like our eyeballs have, because they don't have all the muscles that we have. But with those deeper hot dog shaped eyeballs, they have much greater depth perception, and then of course they compensate by not having the eye muscles to move laterally by having such a mobile head. And they also have extra feathers that make them fly silently. I'm just saying that there's a lot of like adaptations that this masculine seems to be kind of hemmed in right now. As much as they wish that they could kind of escape and get to her, I don't think that they can, but they're doing everything that they can in their power to quietly still tap into her world, tap into her energy. But right now it may not be much more than like watching her, sensing her. There's something here about the nighttime. Wait, do these two actually talk on the phone, or is this a relationship that never got to get started yet? Is this all something where it's like secret admirers kind of caring about each other from afar, but not yet coming into a union? And so the best that can happen right now is the limited interactions from a distance. But it almost feels like these two are not even in communication, even though he certainly thinks about sending a message because he's got that message under his arm. So with the Wheel of Fortune or the Fate card and the Two of Pentacles, I was asking, like, have these two, they don't talk on the phone, or they don't, because this looks like spying at night to calm himself down, or there's some energy that he taps into from her that helps him like sleep at night, or helps him feel much calmer, it seems like. Sorry, I just now realized you can't even see those cards. Okay. So with this Two of Earth and Wheel of Fortune, I would definitely say that the alignment is coming for them, but it's not there yet. More things have to shift and change before these two will be in the same place at the same time and able to like really have a connection. It's coming though. It's coming. There are things going on in both of their lives that make it a little impossible right now from what I can tell, but that will get arranged in the not too distant future. So in the meantime is just simply like whatever this Six of Swords is that going to be enough to patch him up so he can get his calm and his sense of peace? The Sphinx. I would say most definitely. So she's got this very interesting energy to her. He sees her as a star. He sees her as Venus. He sees her as the white stag, and he sees her as the Sphinx. There is some otherworldly energy about her. Again, that's probably what he taps into. That's why he leans toward her energy. That's why these two are able to have a connection that solely right now is existing in the 5D. There is some very interesting vibe where he knows that she's thinking of him and that she's sending him calm and support, even though it's really hard for him to understand. How does she know when I need some kind of support, confirmation? How is it that she can like hear what I need? And I say this because the Sphinx is the great enigma. This is the great mystery. And it has her face there in it. So I'm just going to say that if this is indeed two people that are still at a distance, they're caring about each other, but only in the 5D realm right now. They're not in the 3D. They're not in each other's worlds. They're not even on the phone with each other. They're not actually even writing to each other. But let's say through a series of more, we'll say, coded energies. Let's say if he does some kind of spying. I mean, in these days, social media is everywhere, right? So anybody who posts anything on social media, somebody else can see that. And perhaps that's what he looks at, or that's what he listens to, or that's what he's, whatever she does that he can tap into, however he accesses her energy. Let's say she specifically tends to, when she's thinking of him, she either posts things, says things, something that he recognizes as like, I don't know how she always knows how to like give me some kind of soothing energy, but she just does. It feels like there is such a like subtext for these two. It's a conversation that goes on between the two of them without them actually talking. I am reminded right now of that, well, I think it was a book first, but then turned into a film called Room with a View, with Helena Bonham Carter and Julian Sands. And I feel like that is maybe the element of that love story. It's actually, I don't know, this is very sweet, and this is very much like building the tension, but if this were a film, it would be building the tension between them, right? Because they both are thinking heavily of each other. The bond is actually growing, even though they're at a distance, even though they're not technically in each other's worlds, yet the bond is here, and it is, in fact, you know, there's an action and reaction between the two of them where they know that they're both energetically interacting, even though it is only in the energy field right now. But that's actually kind of adding to this like sense of comfort and sense of closeness, even though it's at a tremendous distance. You know, here's what I would say. Sometimes acknowledging that a bond is more than, it's more than words. Sorry, now I'm thinking of that song, which I love that song. But I'm thinking of the, I'll say the tribute version that I think Jimmy Fallon did. Yeah, this person is a businessman. And I feel like he's got to do what he's got to do. This is actually the Emperor in any other deck. She respects him. She knows that he's got to do what he's got to do. But he, in turn, kind of, I don't know, I feel like he needed that confirmation somehow from her. Especially when we're dealing with 5D connection, but his world is very 3D. What he's engaged in, the stuff that he's like getting exhausted over, or the things that he's working so hard at, all of that is just like very much, that's what he devotes his 3D energy to right now because he has to. But she understands that part. She's not over here sitting around doing nothing, like twiddling her thumbs waiting for him. It's just that she's the Sphinx. She's got some magical energy to her, some spiritual energy. She knows very much that there is a bond here, but he knows it too. So he's got to have the same spiritual energy to him. And I feel like that's why at some point these two are destined to actually be in each other's worlds. It's just not in the moment. They've got to do what they've got to do right now. But that time for them to come together will be arriving. But right now, I think he just needs some kind of energetic support that she is already sending to him. And she's obviously sending him strength, right? With the head of the lion. She's sending him strength. She's sending him courage. She's sending him the vibes that he needs. By the way, she may wear some pretty large earrings. I would wear the hell out of those. Myself, I dig it. But yeah, I definitely see this is a 5D connection, solely 5D right now. But man, there's a lot of bond happening here. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. If you don't already know this, most of the content that I create, I live stream. So if you click on the live tab, that is where you will find most all of my content, with this one exception, when I like to put out a daily message in this format, just because, well, I like this. But thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I appreciate you so much. I do all the zodiacs here as well. You can also look at those through the playlist tab. That might be the easiest route to take. Bye-bye.